don't know why I've been so nervous to make this video. I've been prepping just to start filming this for like almost an hour, and it's been like hard for me just to like feel like I have the right outfit on, feel like my hair looks good, my makeup looks good, feel like I have all the right pictures picked out, and I just need to start filming. I just need to like lower the stakes for myself. I'm a vlog girl. I like to just take you guys along with my day. It's a little bit uncomfortable trying to like just sit down and like plan things and figure out what to talk to you guys about. But hi, welcome to my channel if you are new here. If you clicked on this video, you're wondering about my health journey and kind of how I've gotten to where I am today. And I truly think I'm at the point where I feel the happiest, I feel the strongest, and I really just want to talk to you guys and kind of take you through my journey because my life has not always been like that. So I guess let's just kind of skip the fluff and let's just get right into the video. I figured I would make this pretty in-depth and kind of just start straight from the beginning. So I was a very active kid. So I played soccer, volleyball, softball, basketball, literally any sport. I played it. I was the sports girl in my family. That was just my thing. I did have a little bit of a chubby phase going from 3rd grade to about 6th or 7th grade, kind of before I had my growth spurt. I think we all kind of go through that, really awkward phase, but in my head, I'm still just a fat kid, like fat kid. I don't want to call myself fat. I don't want to drag myself down, but I remember just comparing myself to my friends, comparing myself to my sisters, because I have 2 sisters who were always just stick thin, and I was kind of thinking about my body from an early age. I think that definitely kind of carried on throughout the rest of my life and has kind of impacted me even to this day. I would think of how my stomach was sticking out in school, and I was always just such a shy kid. I wasn't the kid to talk in class. I would talk and my face would get red, like I was so shy growing up, and I definitely was not like the cool girl. If you guys think that was me, that was not me. I always just compared myself to my friends, always. I always just thought they were skinnier than me. I thought they were better than me, and I just was always dragging myself down. I still do to this day. It's crazy. It never really goes away. I was pretty normal in high school. I was fairly fit. I was kind of like skinny fat, I guess you would say. Like I had some muscle because I did sports. I was heavily involved in volleyball and tennis in high school. Those are kind of my main 2 sports. But throughout my whole childhood, from, being born to about like age 18, I did not eat healthy. My family is not like a healthy family. We ate out every single day almost. Like I had either Domino's, pasta, Panda Express, Jersey Mike's, Jimmy John, stuff like that. Like I had that every single night basically. And also because my dad was a vegetarian, so my mom kind of struggled trying to figure out healthy meals to make us. I never grew up eating meat ever. Like that was just not in my diet. I graduated high school in 2020. So I was the COVID class. We didn't have a graduation and stuff like that. But right out of high school, obviously it was COVID. I was kind of going through a hard time because I stopped playing sports, which was my form of physical activity. And there's no gyms open. I didn't know how to work out. I didn't know how to eat healthy. I was just at home sitting around eating all the time because I was stressed. I was anxious. I was lonely. I gained 20 pounds. I went from being pretty skinny in high school to gaining 20 pounds. I did not recognize myself. I didn't recognize my body. I was constantly thinking about my looks, constantly thinking about my body, and I compared myself to my friends all the time. I felt so stuck. I was doing the Chloe Ting workouts. If you know, you know. I did not know how to work out. I would roll out my little mat. I'd go outside on my lawn. I would maybe do back-to-back, like 3 little 15-minute workouts that were not effective whatsoever. And I just was like, felt so lost. I was like, why am I not seeing results in my body? Why am I gaining weight rapidly? I'd also just went on birth control around this time because I didn't have a regular period. I've never had a regular period, and so I went on it to regulate my cycle. That's a whole nother video. We don't need to get into that, but I went on birth control. It was COVID, so I was sitting around, not working out, not knowing what to do. I wasn't going on walks because I lived in Washington, and it was cold, it was rainy. I lived on a street. I didn't have good walking paths around me. Walks were not a thing for me. But every now and then I try to like run like 2 miles randomly. Like my workout routine was so sporadic, so random. It was not consistent. and I hated myself. I really did. I went to college. It was still COVID, so nothing was open, no gyms were open. I just was in this little town with my best friend at the time, and we moved there kind of hoping for the college experience, but I didn't know what to do without having a gym around, because that was kind of like what I assumed I would do if I would work out. And so I would go for runs in the morning wearing like a little waist trainer. I literally wore a waist trainer because like I wanted my waist to be small. And I tracked everything on MyFitnessPal. Everything. Like I would scan my labels. I would have like 200 calories left at the end of the day. And I would be like, oh, no, oh my God, like I have no calories left. Like I can't eat anymore. Like it was horrible. I was starting to restrict food so much. And around that time as well was when I started modeling. I got scouted for modeling during COVID. I got signed to go over FaceTime, and the combination of gaining 20 pounds rapidly, not knowing what I looked like, getting boobs and stuff, you know, like I didn't have boobs growing up. Like I didn't know what was going on. And then starting modeling, that was the worst thing I could have done for my image, for myself. Like I just was drilled in my mind that I needed to be pretty, because growing up, I never was the pretty one. I was the one people forgot about. I was just a random tall girl, you know? And so I started modeling for the validation that I wanted. I started working out so hard. I started trying to go for runs with my waist trainer on and tracking all my food. And I was driving myself crazy during COVID. And then gyms opened up. And my boyfriend at the time, he taught me how to work out. He was telling me I needed to lift for like 2 hours and push myself really hard. And that's what I did. I just pushed myself as hard as I could in the gym. I was trying to get a butt. I ended up gaining weight from that because I was eating an excessive amount, trying to get all the protein I needed in. I stopped tracking MyFitnessPal. I was really depressed, and I moved back home. And I was living at home, just going to the gym all the time, trying to lift as heavy as I could. I dyed my hair brown because I was depressed. I did not know who I was. I dyed my hair like permanent brown. These pictures never see the light of day, so that's how you know I like you guys, that I'm showing you these pictures. But it was such a rough time for me. I had some muscle, I had some fat, I was eating a lot, and I didn't know how to cook. Around this whole period, I was trying to teach myself how to cook. I was eating just random crap. Like I had a lot of tempeh because that's what I had in my freezer because my dad is a vegetarian, and then random like processed foods. I ate like anything that was like low calorie, high protein, but the ingredients would be horrible. Like it would have like all this like fake added sugars. I got super into like protein ice cream, and so I'd put like xanthan gum into like a blender with protein and like eat that every night. And oh my gosh, I just did not know portion control, first of all, and I did not know ingredients. I never read ingredients labels ever. And so I was lifting as hard as I could. I was going as hard in the gym. I would do like an hour on the Stairmaster and stuff like that, and do 20 minutes on the Stairmaster every time I would lift as a warm-up and crap like that. I just was so inflamed. I gained all this weight because I was eating so much and eating foods that weren't good for my body, weren't serving me. All right, so at this point, living at home, lifting a lot, super inflamed, trying to get a butt, did not recognize myself in my body still, had brown hair. I decided to move to Arizona. I was paying full tuition for online school. I wanted to go in person, but it was online school, and I was just so depressed living in Washington. I needed to get out. And of course, my boyfriend was saying he was going to move to Arizona. He tried to break up with me, and I was like, no, don't break up with me. I'll just move with you instead, because I needed the validation of a man, you know? And so, of course, I followed him because I was going to go to ASU. But I went to ASU online because I was working at Starbucks at the time, and Starbucks had a program where if you work at Starbucks for 20 hours a week or something like that, then you get ASU online only for free. So that's what I did. I decided to move to Arizona, work at Starbucks, kind of pretend like I was a student. You know, I was a student, but I would, you know, want to be more involved with the school, like in person, but then do ASU online. Of course, broke up with the boyfriend at the time because he was the worst, but just not the best for me. Hope he's doing well. At this point, I got signed to a modeling agency, of course, and that was all I could think about. That was what consumed my mind, consumed my brain. I wanted to be skinny, because my goal in life was to be a international model. That was what I was going to do. I was going to travel the world. I was going to model. I was going to be on the cover of Vogue and whatever. That was what I was going to do. I started just restricting food. I wasn't doing the MyFitnessPal thing anymore, but I kind of stopped lifting because I didn't have that boyfriend anymore that I was trying to impress. So wasn't super into lifting anymore. I would go to the gym sometimes and kind of lift kind of light. Like I just wouldn't really push myself very hard. And then I just got super into walking. I just walked everywhere all the time. I would be like, if I don't get 15,000 steps, then I'm worth nothing. Like I would go to the gym at like 9 p.m. at night and then make sure I got my steps in, you know, like I started developing a very bad relationship with food. I was losing weight pretty rapidly. I started noticing the changes in my body and I became addicted to it. I started learning to cook, which is really cool. I kind of started, my obsession kind of was like with sweet potatoes. I would like air fry sweet potatoes and then I would make like fried rice, and I kind of started learning how to cook, and which was really cool. And actually I've discovered that I really enjoyed cooking, and so I'd have fun like kind of making these recipes and stuff like that. And so I started off not doing too bad. I would eat pretty healthy. Fast forward a couple months, I discovered a method to losing weight while giving in to my cravings, if you get the vibe I'm putting down. My whole life was modeling. I would be working at Starbucks and then my alter ego was going to model by the end of the night. My relationship with food was in the gutter. I hated myself. I hated my body. All I wanted was to be thin. I just was hardly eating, restricting, binging, you know, things like that. Around this time is actually when I met Evan. He's the one who really helps me heal my relationship with food. He helped me start falling in love with cooking again and not like be scared of food. And he took me to the gym again for my first time, because during that time before I kind of became scared of the gym. We would cook dinner together every night, and around that time is when I finally kind of stopped my disordered eating habits. When he met me, I was at my absolute skinniest point. I looked like this. I still hated myself. Still wanted to be smaller. Even when you were at your smallest, absolute smallest point, you still feel like you're not enough. You still want to be smaller. That's why you can't be always trying to shrink yourself. If you're constantly trying to shrink yourself, you're going to shrink yourself to nothing and still have the same mindset that you need to get smaller, and it's never going to be enough. I knew something needed to change. I looked at myself in the mirror. I did not recognize myself. Starting to cook again with Evan, starting to go to the gym again, starting to fall back in love with food. I developed a healthy relationship with food finally. We were eating like huge dinners. We would eat like 2 burgers each. And like Edmund just ate like a ton. But honestly, that was great for me, healing my relationship with food, because like I realized that calories didn't matter. The ingredients did. I became more ingredient focused. We just started eating whole, healthy foods. And I started feeling myself properly. Around this period, I also went off birth control because I wanted to kind of try and get a regular cycle. After going off birth control, I didn't really try to get my period back. I kind of just assumed it would come back. And so I was still doing my daily workout routine, and I became pretty obsessed with working out. I mean, I was working out with Evan. We would lift 3 times a week. We would run 3 times a week. And by the end of it, I was running about 7 miles every other day. So about like 3 times a week. And then I would do like a sprinting day every single week. I didn't know anything about getting a period back. I never even looked it up. I just assumed I would get my period back. But of course I didn't. And so I didn't get a period for 15 months after going off birth control. I did a bunch of research and I kind of came to the conclusion that I thought I had hypothalamic amenorrhea. So I thought that I was just working out too much. And that being said, I thought that I needed to cut down on my working out. So I stopped running completely, pretty much. I gained a couple pounds. It was pretty scary for me. Gaining a couple pounds, stopping running, because running was kind of what was keeping me thin at that point. I was kind of honing in more just on Pilates. That was kind of just what I started doing for my primary workout, because at the time I was already starting to teach Pilates because I'm a Pilates instructor now. I did get my period back. I didn't feel super confident in myself, and so I kind of started weaning down my eating a teeny bit, nothing crazy. I just felt like I needed to be a little bit more mindful of my eating, because at the point I just wasn't really caring. I was just trying to eat as much as possible because I was told I need to be in this caloric surplus. Now, to this day, my workout routine consists of lifting about twice a week, doing Pilates about 3 to 4 times a week. Every week is pretty different. I don't really have like a strict routine I follow at the moment. And then I walk a lot. I really love walking. I used to incline walk for a little bit, but now I just walk outside, and I really, really enjoy walking outside because I feel like it just makes me happy. This is what I'm looking like right now. Obviously, you guys have seen my videos, so you kind of know how I look, but I feel my strongest. Like, I finally see muscle definition. When I look in the mirror, I see like my shoulders pop out, or like my bicep, which I think is so cool. And I feel like I have a very good balance with exercise. I don't feel like I overdo it because I know what it feels like when I've overdone it in the past. So I want to talk about some of the tangible tips that I've learned from this whole crazy story of my health routine. I have tried so many types of exercise. I've done all the workout classes. I've been a runner. I've been a lifter. I've done only Pilates. I've been only do sports. Like I feel like I've done just about everything, and there is no correct workout routine. Whatever is correct is what you'll be consistent in, because consistency really is like the main thing that will give you results. If you cannot get yourself to be consistent with running, that's not your workout. That's okay. If you cannot get yourself to be consistent with lifting, then start by maybe going to a workout class or following YouTube Pilates videos or something. It's like you have to do what you're gonna be consistent in. It was so sporadic at the beginning of my journey. I would just do random crap. I would follow YouTube videos. I'd go for a run randomly, but none of it was consistent. And you have to do what makes you feel strong, what makes you feel good. Like, what do you look forward to? I'm not gonna lie, I don't love going to the gym. I'm kind of struggling with it a little bit right now. I feel like I struggle with wanting to weight lift. I had my history of being very big, I guess, and like trying to get a butt, being a little inflamed and stuff like that. And so I don't want that for myself now. And so it's kind of hard to get myself to go to the gym again. But I just try to give myself grace and kind of do what I enjoy. I love going to Pilates classes, so it's kind of my main source of workout right now. I love walking, and I'll go to the gym like twice a week, because that twice a week, anyone could do that. My tip number 2 is to focus on ingredients over calories. I remember when I was trying to lose weight and stuff like that, I would really just focus on like all the low carb things. I wouldn't care what the ingredients labels said. I would just eat whatever was low calorie. And it's like, no, you need to care about the nutrients your body is getting, because food is amazing. I would literally Google the health benefits of food while I was eating it, because it made me feel more excited to eat it, like sweet potato is so amazing for you, or avocados, spinach. Like, I don't think about calories at all anymore. I just think about how the food I'm eating is serving me, how it's gonna make my skin glow, my hair grow longer. It's your mental clarity. Like, food is amazing. I just want to make this my last tip, because this video is getting pretty lengthy so far, is you can't go towards looks. My life sucked when all I thought about was my body and my appearance. Ever since I started focusing on how I feel, that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for what your body looks like. That's a secondary thing. Number 1, your primary thing is to focus on how you feel. Focusing on your nutrition, focusing on your exercise, also sleep. Super, super important for recovery. Do not skip on your sleep. If you're someone that gets like 6 hours of sleep, get more. Try it out. Have a very regular sleep schedule. Have a good wind down routine, a good morning routine. Try to stay off your phone. I can make a whole separate video about that, but your sleep is so important. That's what makes me feel so energized now to this day. Getting enough protein in and having balanced plates, protein, fats, carbs, keeping all those things in mind whenever you make yourself a meal. And just know that you are more than your looks. You are more than your body. And if you just focus on the absolute basics, just sleep, nutrition, diet, your body will respond. You're gonna feel amazing. Your skin will start to glow. You're gonna wake up and all of a sudden be like, wow, I feel my best. I still have so many days where I'm so hard on myself. Like, I feel like I am my biggest critic. I am my biggest hater. Maybe you guys look at me and you think I'm crazy for being so hard on myself, but I'm so hard on myself. Like, I feel like I look at myself, I'm like, oh, I'm bloated, I'm doing this wrong, I shouldn't eat this, blah, blah, blah. That voice doesn't really go away, but you can make it quieter. And once you just focus on the basics, you know you're doing all the right things, you can start using logic against that voice. Be like, you know what? No, I'm doing this right. You're not necessary anymore. Go away. I remember being the girl in my room doing sit-ups at midnight because I wanted to get abs, you know? There's so many easier ways about it than being embarrassed of trying wanting to get fit and embarrassed of your body. You don't need to restrict yourself. You can have the wine, you can have the cookies, you can have that stuff in moderation. There's healthy alternatives to everything as well. I never feel like I'm restricting anymore. I get excited to eat my cauliflower ice cream at night. It's so healthy for me. It makes me feel amazing, but I feel excited to eat it because I love it. Like, there's so many ways to make your healthy food taste amazing. You don't have to eat just bland chicken and rice every day. There's so many things you can eat that are so amazing for you, and you can make them taste so amazing. But I really hope that this gave you some insight to my life and my story, and know that I was the shy girl who hated myself. I've been so self-conscious my whole life. You can flip that around. Now I feel like I still have my days. Do not get me wrong. I am not the most confident person, but I'm the most confident I've been, and I'm getting there. Now, as a newly 23-year-old, I feel like I've gained some wisdom, and I really hope that this helped you guys. I love you so much. Focus on the inputs, not the outputs, and one day you'll wake up and feel so proud of yourself and not even recognize yourself. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching this video, and let me know what you want to see from me next.